I'm muted again. Everyone attention. The big Josh is in the building. Guys, it's time for me to address the elephant in the room. And it's the fact that there is no elephant in this room.
What?
The elephant went to college, actually. I don't know if you can tell, but that's a photo of the elephant going to college. They are going for political science. I am so happy for them. Well, they graduated, but I guess they're somewhere else right now. Guys, I have something to tell you. I know you all think that I'm great and awesome, and I kind of sort of give off great and awesome leader vibes. Most of you have probably even thought, wow, Joshua's gotta at least be 6 to 7 feet. And I need to be honest with you guys. I'm 5'5", 5'6" on a good day. Yep, the same exact height as Pulitzer Prize winner Kendrick Lamar.
They short like us. They short like us. They short like...
Yeah, shocker. I happen to be on the shorter side. But, when I stand on this chain that I was gifted, I said, when I stand on this chain that I was gifted, there's nothing that changed about me. Am I right, my Connas? Imagine I just made a custom N-word out of Curtis Connor's last name. Yeah, and who am I making this out to? Yeah, Curtis Connor. What, do I have something in my mouth or? Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you politely to leave this establishment. What did I do? Leave or I'm calling the manager. Manager? I hardly know her. I really used to hate being short as a kid. I used to get teased a lot for that in elementary school and in middle school and in high school. I used to get teased a lot for that. But being teased wasn't the apex of what made me hate being short. It wasn't the key factor. The key factor was I was graduating from 5th grade to the 6th grade, and I was salutatorian. That's an actual shocker. So then we're looking around, my mom's shopping, but then her face starts to look a little anxious. Now I don't know what's going on, because I'm salutatorian. I don't really need to do a lot of thinking, okay? Because I'm salutatorian. Come to find out, I was so small at the time that they didn't even have suits that fit me in that store. And I remember being so embarrassed by that I cried in the mall. In the grand scheme of things, that didn't really matter that much anyway. I went to a private school. My classroom only had about 10 kids. So the only reason I was salutatorian is because I was 2 out of the 10 kids who actually did something and acted well in class. So, I mean, who else were they gonna give it to? The kids topping each other off in the back of the classroom? Hey man, don't hate on us just because you can't afford any petrol. Yeah, being short was the bane of my existence, but now, not that much. In fact, funny enough, that's something that I happen to grow out of. Interestingly enough, I happen to find somebody older than me who actually hasn't grown out of it and hasn't grown at all. So before we get into this interesting character, we all know the rules. I don't want to find out that you guys are harassing him or anything like that. Joke's on you, your words can't reach him. This guy goes by the name of Chadlet Maxer, and he is single-handedly fighting against the war that is heightism.
And I wish I was shorter. Short guys are told to just be confident.
This is how today's world works. If you're tall, you end up getting to go to high society.
But the second we stand up for ourselves, we're mocked.
What do you guys think of that intro? Pretty nice, right? Maybe nice enough for you to like it.
Okay. I'm 5'3.5", and I wish I was shorter. Seriously. Most guys my height want to be taller, and so did I, until one day the jealousy flipped. Now I fantasize about being 4'10", and it's not a joke. When I was in college, I hated seeing guys shorter than me. When I see a guy who's shorter than me, it feels like he's stealing my place.
As you can see, there's a lot to unpack here. So in the beginning, I thought that maybe this just happened to be a sort of fetish kink page because of the way that he was phrasing his words. But he also happens to post videos like 5'3" Catboy Cute Cell versus 7' Dommy Mommy and Hype Pill on the news about Charlie Kirk.
6'5", right? And walked into a room. It's like, whoa, who's that guy? He's going places, and of course he already went places.
I'm sorry, I like the guy, but what's so incredible about succeeding when you were born into a body and a situation that just predisposes you to being more likely to succeed?
Guess he's too short to carry the flame. It's too heavy. Look at all this head height I got up here. Let's see if I can kind of like this. Yeah. Sorry guys, just making myself taller. Something Chad here can't do. Oh! Sorry, too high?
I want to be the small, submissive one. I even wish I could go back and hinder my growth even more. Worse food, more chemicals, just to shrink. It's not self-hate. It's an identity.
This is gonna sound crazy. I don't like how this guy positions himself as someone who wants to be shorter because it's an ideal height for him now. Solely because it's something that he'd accept more, which is a complete lie. Especially since later down the line, you'll find that he actually has issues with other people being upset at him because he is shorter. So which one is it? You can't say that you want to get short and then get upset when people call you out for being small. Then saying things like his jealousy flipped, and now his perspective is that when he sees somebody shorter than him, it makes him extremely jealous because they're taking his spot.
I want to be the small, submissive one. I like feeling smaller now. I like surrendering to power. But here's the truth no one tells you. Even when you accept yourself, envy doesn't die. It just respawns. Same boss, new skin.
I think it's a huge disrespect to little persons who have genetic disorders and medical conditions because they did not choose to be a little person. They weren't in the room like, you know what, I could be as tall as LeBron, but I think I want to be 2'3". Yeah, I think I want to be a dwarf. Give me that one. I want to be able to walk across the street and even the smallest Volkswagen couldn't see me. Yeah, I want to be that on purpose. There is a ton of videos and a ton of resources that you can find on the internet about little persons and the struggles that they have to deal with concerning their medical condition, concerning dwarfism. And in that process, when it comes to them accepting it, it comes from a process of them learning that this isn't something that I can change. My height isn't the only thing that makes me me. I could do so many things. You know, it comes from a place of growth because that's something that they cannot change. Learning to be happy with your shortcomings, I don't mean it like that, is a part of the process. And that goes for anyone with any sort of disability or condition. So Chad here saying that he's jealous of shorter people because of how small they are and taking over his role is extremely disrespectful since he only sees a smaller person as someone who is submissive.
I want to be the small, submissive one.
I shouldn't have to tell you this, but small does not equal weak. It doesn't equal submissive. If you had to fight Adam Ant to the death, I promise you, won't like the outcome. Shit, if you had to fight 4 little persons and they started standing on each other's shoulders, dude, you're fucked, man. Who do you guys got winning? Chad Maxer here or 4 little persons leg locked together standing on each other? I got the little persons. That's 8 arms. They could grab both arms, both legs, and still have extra arms to punch him in the
balls.
He's also an age maxer, if you couldn't tell, but he's, more importantly, he's also 28, calling himself a 5'4" manlet. Look, man, you really gotta do better for yourself. Self-affirmations, body positivity, do something for yourself, man. And I'm gonna sit here and say that I think looks are subjective. We can ignore the cute AF part. We don't have to comment on it. I won't comment on it, but I know you will. Here's the thing, though. I don't think you have issues in finding a girlfriend because you happen to be a cute AF 5'4" manlet. I think that you can't find a girlfriend because you happen to call yourself a cute AF 5'4" manlet. Does that make any sense? You could really just have a super sour personality that nobody, really wants to be around. And from the looks of it,
I even wish I could go back and hinder my growth even more.
I'm Michael Jordan. I think we found it, people. I think we found the actual first definition of a pick-me. Well, Miss Domi counted, but
I always make sure to look at women from the left because I do not believe in women's rights.
I think we found our first male pick-me, dude. This is crazy. Scoot over, Chad. Let me get in there. Life as a handsome short guy teaches you something important. That height matters more than looks. And height privilege applies to every aspect of life more than pretty privilege. Hashtag looks max, hashtag pretty boy, hashtag short guy, hashtag height matters. This guy must be an apiculturist because there's a lot of buzzwords in his caption. And it's weird that he has look smacks in there too, because aren't look smackers known to be the exact opposite of what this guy is? This guy's submissive, cute AF, while look smackers are supposed to be hardcore, bone smashers, women abusers. I don't co-sign it, but that's what they are. Yeah, so I just tried to look up any good examples of submissive men, and I am now on r/BDSM, so not even 29, short, aging cute self, burned out. I wasted my 20s grinding and failing. No girlfriend, ever. Stuck in my childhood room. My only hope was success online, and now even that's being taken by guys 10 years younger. Time is running out. So now he's 29? Does he think that raising his age would higher the chances of him finding a dami mommy? He's like the evil version of Juan Ali, 28-year-old male who looks 68.
Why not? I don't want you, bro.
These are the 3 ways that short guys cope with their predicament, starting with the least effective way and ending with the most effective way. Number 1, denial. This is by far the most annoying coping mechanism to me, because all it does is perpetuate the epidemic of gaslighting towards the hardships and very clear disadvantages that short men face. Oh yeah, my dad, he's 5'5", he's an MMA fighter, he could kick the ass of any tall guy. Oh, my uncle, he's 5'6", he's got the hottest wife in the world, and he's a millionaire, blah blah blah, putting forth all of these outliers and statistical anomalies as a way to somehow prove that height prejudice, heightism, and height bias doesn't exist in society.
Buddy, these aren't counter arguments to what you're trying to talk about. If you're trying to bring up the topic of heightism, which is a real prejudice ingrained in society, where, you know, just not as popular. Yeah, this is the list of prejudices we have. You know, we got the real top bad ones, and then we got this one right here. You know, it's a prejudice, but yeah, not really. But yeah, if you want to have a conversation about that prejudice, then have that conversation. But calling it cope when someone gives you examples of short people who are successful, who are strong, and who do positive things, and you just call it cope, to me, that just sounds like you really don't want to hear it. And the thing is, we know height prejudice exists because if we take a look at Kevin Hart's career, every role that he has been in, every single joke that he has, or just Kevin Hart in general, his entire life, he's been made fun of because of his stature. In the Scary Movie series, besides the tent scene, he was the short guy that was getting thrown around a lot. When he shot a shotgun in the movie with Ice Cube, he got thrown around because he was short and he couldn't shoot the shotgun, even though I'm pretty sure he's strong enough to shoot a shotgun. Regardless of how over-exaggerated it was, Kevin Hart didn't sit there and start whining about how he's a cute boy, cat boy, incel or whatever. In fact, he took those to advantages and is probably one of the most successful people his height, next to the Pulitzer Prize winning artist Kendrick Lamar.
Shorty on a beat, ho deep.
Even speaking of Kendrick Lamar, let's go back a couple years. What is it, about 4 years or 3 years or so to the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, which wasn't close, by the way. I don't want to hear it at all. It was never close. Even in the early stages, it was never close. When Drake made that diss towards Kendrick not too long ago, one of the sticks that he drew was the shortest one, because we all know that Kendrick Lamar is short, but Drake just wanted to remind us that he was. And from my perspective, I do believe that heightism does exist. It's sort of been ingrained into our society since man. They barely listened to Jesus because he was an immigrant. Imagine if he was a short immigrant. Even God knew not to make him a cute boy, cat sail, 5'3" manlet. We would have been finished. I mean, height is a factor that is used to choose our leaders, but it's also how partners are chosen as well. There are prejudices like that, but then there are disadvantages that most short people will always have in anything physical, anything sports like basketball. It doesn't mean you can't be great at it. Nothing's really impossible. What you're talking about is, I would say, more disadvantages. Let's call them that. So you can say that there's prejudice in politics and that there's a disadvantage in sports, but when we get to talking about women's preferences, if she doesn't like short guys, Chad, you're gonna have to respect that answer and stop stalking her like Joe Goldberg. She doesn't want you.
Just because there are women here and there that don't really care that much about height, it's still uncommon and you're still at a disadvantage. And to try and deny that and tell everybody else that they're wrong, the only person you're fooling is yourself. Number 2. Height maxing. This is what I used to do. When I was a teenager, I was putting lifts in my shoes, wearing 1.5-inch boots.
Finally, something that we can agree on.
Excuse me?
Not the lifts parts. I really never tried to make myself taller using anything like that. I was actually looking into this ancient pulley technique. I was gonna have my siblings stretch me. It was used as a torture device back in the olden days. I was gonna use that to get taller.
Finally, the most effective way of coping with being a short guy, this is what I do, and that is embracing it. Now, sometimes you don't really have control over whether or not your brain will let you embrace it. What happened to me is I got to my lowest point. I hit rock bottom. I was ready to be done for good. And suddenly, something snapped in my brain, and all of a sudden, my anguish and my distress and my suffering converted into euphoria and pleasure. So follow my account, Chadlet Maxing, for more height pill content.
Niche maxing? Niche maxing? Here goes that 1984 Newspeak. That's INGSOC right there. That's a Fed. Niche maxing? Buddy, that's called accepting yourself. It's called loving yourself. But you also said a couple of videos ago that you don't accept yourself. And in fact, you want to be shorter.
And I wish I was shorter.
So do you embrace the fact that you're that size and that's never gonna change? No! Or do you get upset at other people shorter than you because they get to be more submissive than you? Your words, not mine. No, not mine. You don't remember that? Like the jealousy flipped and now you hate every single little person in the world because you're jealous of them now and their dwarfism? I promise you, someone with dwarfism or a medical condition that makes them that height would immediately trade places with you any time of the day. They'd probably still keep the clothes, right? I think they would probably rather look like, you know, their clothes don't fit than wear what you got on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd take that offer any time of the day.
So if a short guy defends himself, that's a syndrome now? It's funny how when a tall guy acts confident, he's a leader. But when a short guy does the same thing, it's short man syndrome. Short guys are told to just be confident. But the second
I don't think I have ever interacted with anybody, whether friend or foe, no Spider-Man, who has ever said that my confidence in anything that I do, any subject, any art form, is a Napoleon complex or a short guy complex. Never interacted with anybody like that. And something also to kind of bring to our attention is the fact that the Napoleon complex isn't based off of anything factual. The Napoleon complex is a term based off of British propaganda. Napoleon was average height for his time. There isn't a single shred of evidence that proves that Napoleon was upset because he was a cat boy cute. And I mean, most time when short guys are being called out or being made fun of for being short in that sense, is because they're kind of assholes at the same time. Two things can be true. It's like when someone is bald and not by choice. If somebody is bald and they're being an asshole and you call them out for being bald and they get upset, it's kind of like, yeah, well, you deserve it because you're bald. And that kind of goes for anybody with any sort of standing out quality, any different quality. Whether if you're super skinny, super big, shoot, even super strong. You know, people start saying that you're juicing. Most of the time they are, but I mean, these outliers used to be freak shows back in the day, so it don't really matter.
we stand up for ourselves, we're mocked, toxic, aggressive, insecure. Like, which is it?
I have a feeling that this 29-year-old man who looks 68 is more than submissive. I think he used to be a theater kid as well. Did you guys see how he moved when he said submissive?
Like, which is it? The Napoleon complex isn't a diagnosis. It's a weapon. It's how society keeps short men quiet by making sure any show of pride or assertiveness gets shamed. They'll gaslight you into thinking that your confidence is a flaw and then ask why you're so insecure. Napoleon complex is not a syndrome. It's a double standard.
Chad seems to be bringing up a lot of these topics. You know, he's bringing these to you as somebody who wants to inform you, but from my perspective, it seems like he really doesn't want to do anything about it. It reminds me of the No Kings protest, where they're not really disturbing any peace. There's food trucks, dancing going on, and not even recently, there was like that ice building and those people they like open the gate and then they proceed to step back after opening the gate. This is what that reminds me of, you know, you're bringing this to our attention, but do you want to do anything about it? I don't think so. So maybe stop and let the people who do want to do something about it do it. Never had a girlfriend, he says, then proceeds to show us potential proof of a girlfriend. This guy's a genius.
If short and tall are truly equal, then how come there are thousands of subliminals for growing taller,
This guy really does not stand on anything. In one video, you're upset at the fact that you can't be confident because you'll just get shut down by your taller peers or by your opposition. And then in the next video, you just can't wait to be dominated by your tall overlords. Which one is it? Maybe you can't find a girlfriend because you can't spell inferior either. Maybe that dummy mommy's not gonna show up for you because even though she likes her men submissive, she probably still wants somebody who's confident. And it's clear that you're not even confident enough to spell inferior. You know, I'd say cry me a river, but you can't produce that much liquid. Cry me a kiddie pool, dude. It's hot out here.
None to get shorter. People will sleep with crystals, stretch their spines, and loop 12-hour audios, all to gain half an inch. You ever seen someone try to manifest down to 5'4"? I didn't think so. But sure, bro. Being short is just a mindset. Go manifest that.
This guy's an asshole, guys. This is why he gets... I just bit my tongue. This guy is an asshole. He doesn't give a darn about height prejudice. I'll tell you that. Because to be honest, you ever seen that comic of where a guy's like, man, I wish I had his bike, and then the other guy's like, I wish, no, wait, not that one, because he was like, I don't want that bike. He had a Lamborghini. It'll be like a skinny girl, and then it'll be like a really big girl, a curvaceous girl, and then they'll both be like, I wish that we had each other's body, or a short guy and a tall guy. I wish that we had each other's bodies. At some point and at some moment in our lives, we all wish that we could change something about ourselves, that we could be somebody different for just a couple of seconds. That's just how it works. That has nothing to do with height prejudice, but I'm pretty sure that every short person can agree being shorter would be worse. And I'm only gonna speak in American terms because I feel like America just is not designed for short people. So being short in America really isn't gonna get you anywhere, you know? So I'm pretty sure all my shorter Americans can agree on that. We can acknowledge that as the shorter person, we are heavily underestimated and always seen as something that's in the way or somebody that's weaker. I know I didn't like being short back then. Would I mind if I got a little bit taller? No. Would I want to be shorter? No, because then I wouldn't be able to ride the roller coaster. I also don't want to give you guys the idea that being short is the worst thing to ever happen. I want you, no matter your body shape, length, or width, to love you for who you are and just be the healthiest that you can be. Because to be honest, short is also really only determined by era as well. I mean, right now, it's not looking good for us, but still. I mean, think about it like this. There was a point in time where my height was the average height for everybody. Yeah, in the Shang Dynasty. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I saw this guy as a lot more pick-me than I thought, so, you know, why not add another collection to the series? Add another Infinity Stone. I still don't have a name for you guys, so just imagine that I do, and I will see you later. They'll never know.